And in this video, we're going to talk about why trauma disconnects us from our true self. The 3 hidden reasons why you don't know who you really are and how to fix them. If we don't know who we are, we can make the wrong decisions that guide us further away from living a life that is going to be the best life where we can thrive. I'm making this video because I get it. I've been there too. I've spent years not feeling like I had any identity. Decades, actually. I didn't know what I liked, what I wanted, or who I was at all. If I was told to be myself in an interview, I would draw a complete blank. So the reason number 1 that you don't know who you are is that you're stuck in a stressed nervous system. Who we are comes from our emotions, and when our nervous system is stressed, our emotions are cut out basically, and our body just focuses on essential functions, and we can't access our emotions as well. Then studies have found that after therapy, people's nervous system regulates and they're able to feel and trust their emotions. And from our feelings and emotions are who we are. That is where who we are comes from. And so as your nervous system calms down, you can then access who you are more. So our intuition might tell us that we want to stay in for the night and just rest, light candles, and watch Netflix, but we don't feel that very much because of our stress response. Our nervous system is highly activated, and so we end up going out to the party and that we got invited to, and people pleasing and shutting down who we really are, and never discovering that maybe a core part of our identity is that we are a homebody. So healing is partially just being okay with the fact that because of the trauma, we can't access who we are. We just can't. It's part of our brain's current functioning, and also to look forward to being able to know who we are more and more as we go through therapy and trauma work and journaling and meditation and the modalities that you choose, and we will be more in touch and connected with our emotions and learn who we are bit by bit by bit. And then you can put those pieces together and have a more strong knowing of who you are and being of who you are when you implement those things. You might already notice how you have a friend who has not had any trauma in their life, or not very much. I think we all have a little bit, but you might notice how they know exactly who they are. And you could just start to notice people around you who know exactly who they are, and maybe they haven't experienced trauma, and so they had that gift in life, and life isn't fair. So some of us do go through trauma and aren't able to access who we are because of that, because we're in survival mode so much. But then you could start to see who you are in that. Even now you could see how you are someone who's working hard on your trauma. You are someone who experienced trauma. That's already something that you do, as you are in therapy and pursuing self-improvement. And while you still have a significant amount of traumatic stress, you can just look at the things that you do to name who you are. I am someone who volunteers. You're someone who cares about the community. I am someone who goes to the gym. I'm someone who cares about health and fitness. I am someone who likes to hang out with friends. I'm someone who values friendships a lot. Things like that. Then as you move along, you can more fine-tune things about yourself and who you are as you really get into your feelings and different intuitive things. Maybe you like pineapple with salt, something random like that. That is something you heard from your intuition and were able to listen to once you got to a more healed state. Reason number 2 why you don't know who you are is that you were taught it was unsafe to be yourself. And through the trauma you went through, you were punished for being yourself. And so now to be yourself feels very unsafe, and in the survival state that you're in, that is absolutely not what you want to do and not what your brain wants to do and is in the habit of doing. Maybe you had a narcissistic partner who bullied you or made fun of you for your true interests and morphed you into what they wanted. Maybe you had a narcissistic family member who bullied you as a child for the things that you were naturally interested in. maybe you were met with shame and rejection every time that you tried to be yourself. So eventually you just stopped and learned how to function without knowing who you are. And that did fine. And we can, survive having had trauma and in that shutdown state until we get to a place where we want to live our authentic life, have an authentic career to us, have authentic friendships, have authentic relationships, and live in a place that really resonates with our who we are. All of these things require tapping into who you are, and so that might be where you're at right now. Science backs this up and shows that children who experience being invalidated or emotional neglect as a child develop an adaptive personality, meaning they suppress who they really are to gain just the basic amount of acceptance that we really need to function as humans, because we have such a need to be part of community, to survive, to live and eat and have food and water. If this is you, it makes sense why you feel lost now. You spent your whole life adjusting to what others wanted from you. So try new things. Go to an art class. Try saying no to something. Try saying yes to something. Did you say no to going out to the party and you stayed in and you had wished you went? Well, next time say yes to the party. And maybe you're someone who likes to go to parties a few times a year but not all the time, or maybe you're someone who likes art classes, maybe you're someone who doesn't. Those are all who you are. For the meantime, just knowing one thing about who you are can be extremely helpful. Just for a day, a week, you can just resonate with and meditate on, I'm a person who doesn't like to go to parties. I'm a person who doesn't like parties with a ton of people there. And just resonate with that. See how that is to live and be that person, and keep checking in. Is that really me? Is that really me? Or feel free to alter it and start being brave with your expression of yourself and how you're thinking about yourself, and be proud that you found one thing that is who you really are. That is awesome. Celebrate that and stick with it, and know that you did find one nugget at least of who you are. It's not about knowing who you are suddenly overnight. It's about giving yourself space to become who you were always meant to be. Things you like to do as a child might come back to you in your intuition. Maybe you like to bake as a child. You could try that now as well. The third reason why you might not know who you really are is that you lack creativity in your life, which is normal after trauma. We shut down our more intuitive, creative centers. But creativity is really essential to knowing who you really are. You might see how the most creative people around you are the ones who really know themselves the best. When you create, whether it's through art, writing, music, even baking, you're expressing something real inside of you. And that's where you can find more of those nuggets of who you really are. Maybe you like to paint really bright and happy paintings, or you like to paint more somber, philosophical paintings. And those could both be signs and nuggets of who you are. Maybe you're a person who likes to be bright and cheery, and that's your expression. That's where you feel really good, and that's just who you are. Or maybe you're someone who's philosophical and you're always there to have philosophical chats with everyone. Studies show that trauma reduces centers in the brain in their activity, areas that are responsible for creativity. Studies show that trauma survivors experience less activity in the brain in the centers that are responsible for creativity. The stress response overrides the ability to play, imagine, and explore. And from those things is how we figure out who we are and express and be who we are. And so it's really understandable why we don't know who we are. If you're not expressing yourself creatively, it could even be the way you dance while you get ready for work, then you're not really, it's like you have a mirror that is covered in dust and you're looking into that as who you are, versus having a clean mirror where you're brightly seeing your reflection of exactly who you are right there. You can try buying a cheap painting kit from Amazon, or try a 5-minute free writing journaling exercise, or try learning a dance from a YouTube video that teaches you a certain dance. The more you create, the more you start seeing who you are beneath the trauma and without the trauma. So if you've been feeling like you don't know who you are and you're feeling lost, just know that you're disconnected from your identity, but you do have an identity. It's just that the trauma disconnected you from it. And I just want to emphasize how amazing the science is behind this, and the neuroplasticity, and how we can really connect back with who we are through therapy and changing the brain. I know this firsthand because I've been there. I remember being asked what celebrity I liked and having absolutely no clue how to even resonate with a certain celebrity, how to even know who I am in that way of saying, oh, I do enjoy this celebrity's music, or I don't. Just blank. If this resonated with you, drop a heart in the comments and let me know, how did you find who you are, or what has been your experience, your journey on figuring out who you are or not knowing who you are? Do you resonate with this? Have an amazing day, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe for more.